introduction of how to set up your runtime environment for EML-CTS and the two separate applications, Parity System and Parity Client. So the way I've done this, I have put on my desktop a folder. We'll ignore the date for a moment. It's actually tied to the configuration files. In that, there are three run folders: EML-CTS run, client run, and system run. I'm going to open those now and then talk about what's in here for a moment. Now, Parity needs a configuration file. The system, which is the matching engine, when it starts up, looks for a configuration file that's on the command line. Same with the client. Let's take a fast look at those configuration files, which I have open in MacVim here. So from the client side, this is the place we hook into Parity. There is an order entry address, port, username, password. This is for the NASDAQ soup bin TCP protocol, and this is in fact the address to find the running market. So on the market side, we see, if we go down through here, we see the same address and the same port. The password, our configuration, is internal to the market. So there are two other configurations here. This is a JSON file, by the way. Market data, market report. This enables a stock ticker and certain market reports. We don't use those. So let's hop back to the client. So this is a list of all instruments that the client will ask to buy or sell. And characteristics: price, integer, digits. The integer part is 8 characters. The size integer digits is also 8 characters. That means we're going to be using a fixed format message with the Parity Order Entry Protocol, or POE, which is documented in the Parity repositories under the Energy Mashup Lab. So we've got a list of things. Let's take a closer look at this file name. So the instrument, this is what you offer to buy or sell, 0620, and then a bunch of zeros. This is actually the center parts of an ISO 8601 date. ISO 86601 spec is in the Google Drive. So what's missing here is 22020, because this implies the then current year. So this says the date is June 20th at 1 a.m., 0100. So month, 2 digits, 2 characters, date, day of the month, 2 digits, time, 2 digits, that's hours, minutes, 2 digits. For each one, it says price fraction digits. For our ones for energy, they're all the same. Price fraction digits is 3. That means when the client sends an order to buy something at 190 or 190, that's actually 19.0 cents. Or $0.190. That's what the price fraction digit means. Size fraction digits, it's integer, so that's set to 0. Well, there's one outlier here, AAPL. That happens to be the stock ticker for Apple stock, which I retained from the Parity demo code. That's a price fraction of digits of 2 and size fraction 0 again. Now, on the market side, notice it's names of instruments, no details. That's because Parity internally uses integers for everything. Integer compares, integer math is very fast. Fixed decimal or float point tends to be very, very much slower. So those are the two configuration files. That means that when our client orders something, let's take this one, June 20th at 5 a.m., and it wants to buy 55 of those or sell, that turns into the price times 10 to the third and this instrument name. So when that instrument goes to the market, there is technically a separate order book for each instrument. So all offers to buy or sell a particular instrument are kept together in a very fast hash table lookup. So let's go back to our desktop configuration. So in this window, we're going to run Parity System Matching Engine. In this window, we're going to run Parity Client. And in this window, we're going to run EML-CTS. Now, before we get there, one other thing. Here in this folder, this is part of the source tree for EML-CTS dev branch. I pulled this on January 16th. So this is important because, let me actually get to the right thing. Inside this, let's go to target. We have EML-CTS jar original, 83 kilobytes. That's the actual jar from the source code for EML-CTS. Then we have EML-CTS jar. This is what's called a shaded jar or an Uber jar, which combines every library that's referenced. This includes all the Spring libraries that are used as well as any other libraries. Notice our source code is 83K, but we're almost at 40 megabytes here. So that is in fact the jar that we have to use. Inside Spring Tool Suite, when you run as a Spring Boot application, it implicitly and directly includes all those libraries, but the core jar itself is only this 83K. So let's now switch to shells. I have a shell running in each window. We don't need this, so let's hide the Finder. Inside here, so there's one odd little trick. And there may be ways around this that can be done inside the Maven pom.xml file, but we have discovered that you have to run Maven package in this folder. It will do the right stuff, and that will then create the Uber jar that's what we've actually used up above. So I'm going to hide that. So the order of start is start the parity system. And let's see if I have the right things here. All right, so java-jar parity-system.jar, and we need the configuration file, and that is etsy/system0620.conf. And this is the expected behavior. Nothing happens. This is a background application. I run it in this window just so it's more convenient to kill. So we can now hide that. Now let's start up the Parity client. Now we're in that folder that's indirectly on the desktop. Let's take a look at Etsy. So for this one, we type java-jar parity-client.jar Etsy client 0620.conf. And maybe I've made an alteration for Docker. So java-jar parity-client.jar 127.0.0. This is where it will find the the EML-CTS implementation. That's what the help gives us. Okay, type help. So let's type help. Buy, sell, cancel, orders, which is all open orders, trades, which are the ones that have happened, errors, help, and exit.